Welcome back. In this video, we're going to focus on how to make our edit text field or outlined text field to look like you can see here. So let's go ahead and inside of the add edit detail view, let's create a new composable, which I'm going to call wish text field. So add composable, and it's going to be fun wish text field like so. And now this wish text field needs a few details. So it needs to know the label that it's going to display, as well as the value that it's going to display, and finally what should change or what it should say once we have the value change listener. So on value change, well, it's called value change listener, but here I'm just going to call this on value changed. So basically I'm going to say whenever the value changes, I'm going to pass in a string of the value being changed, and that will allow me to constantly modify what we see inside of that text accordingly. So the label is just going to be this thing that says title or description. Okay, so this little piece up here in both cases, that's what this label is. The value is what is inside of the wish text field, and on value change is what happens once we click inside of this edit text field and change something. So we want to update the user interface basically. So here inside of this wish text field, we're just going to use a default outline text field. Okay, so the value of it will be the value, and the on value change will be our on value change. Now we also have a label here. So this outlined text field can also have a label. Let me get rid of that here. So this label, and let me make sure that everything is closing correctly. This outline text field will have a label like so. And that will then just be a text where I'm using text equals label, and the color is going to be black. So color.black. So let me make sure that I import text here, and we can use that one. So that will be our text for the outline text field or the label. And now let me add a modifier here as well. So I need to add a comma here and say modifier will be modifier dot fill max width. So I'm just saying fill the entire width of the screen. And here we can use something called keyboard options. So you've not seen that before, but it's really powerful. And that is, if you open this thing up, like if you click on any of those items, you can modify what keyboard should pop up. So what the keyboard should look like, what kind of basically buttons it has. So for example, sometimes you see that when you click somewhere, it displays the keyboard which just has numbers on it. Or other times you click on it and then it has an add button here somewhere. So that's when you enter email addresses, for example, or it has .com whenever you're entering a link. So that's something you can change using the keyboard options. So therefore we're going to use the keyboard options that Android provides us with, and here we can pass the keyboard type into those keyboard options. So we're going to say the keyboard type, actually it's written like so, keyboard type will be keyboard type dot text. So you see there are different ones. So email, ASCII, text. So let me use text here, but as you see, you can play around with this. And then I want to define the colors to be text field defaults dot outlined text field colors. And here I can define what the individual colors should be that I want to use. So for example, the text color, the focus border color, the unfocused border color, all of those things I can now define for myself. So for example, here you see the focus, this is focused now. So the color here is now black, and it's always black, but that's just something we can now manually override. So I'm going to show you how you can do that, and then you can change it to your liking. So the colors will be text color. Well, actually, I'm just going to use color.black. Then the focused border color, the unfocused border color, the cursor color. So I'm just going to put them in here using our color black. So you can use this black, or you can use color resources, which then will make it easier to just use directly or like override the resources with whatever you want them to be. So whatever color you want to use. So using predefined color, and here using our own colors in res.values.color. I believe that's where it is. Okay, so these are the things that you can override. So what should be the border color when you focus on the item, which means when you click on it, you see here the focus is darker black, but then you can change that. So let's say when it's focused, it should be red. When it's unfocused, it should be blue, something like that. All right, that's something you can play around with. So in this case, actually, it does make sense to have a preview. Okay, so preview, add composable fun wish test field prev. So I'm going to call it like so, and this will just display the wish text field with a label of text, the value of text, and on value changed will do nothing. So this will just give us a preview here, like so. And I still have an error somewhere, my outlined text field. Let me see. Am I using the right text here? Let me actually just get rid of this text here and see. So in the imports at the top, and see how I can satisfy it. So let's use material. No, not material 3. Let's use this one here. Well, it seems to be this material 3 outline text field that causes the error. So let me re-import outlined text field. And I'm going to use the normal material version, not the material 3 version. So here, material outline text fields, text field defaults, and there we are. All right, and that is what our wish text field should look like. Let me build and refresh to have this preview of what this wish text field should be. And there we are on the side where it says text and text. For some reason it doesn't want to grab over here. All right, so here it says text and text. Okay, so that's what our field preview, our wish test field preview is giving us at this moment. So I would like to add a few here into my scaffold to display them, but before we can do that, we need to prepare our view model so that we can pass some details to it, so that we can basically give a state over to our value on that wish title, for example. Okay, so that's it for this video. Let's set up the view model in the next video.